everybody, and welcome to episode 27 of the MyMuddlings podcast. I'm your host Julianne, and I'd like to welcome new and returning viewers to my podcast. I'm so glad you could join me today. It's another hot one here in Adelaide, which is where I live, Adelaide, South Australia. I do have a fan on in the background. Hopefully it doesn't mess up too much with the sound. I'm also obviously in another new environment because as it is so hot today, I haven't put my birds outside. I'm trying to keep them cool inside, so they are behind me. That's the door that you see in the back of my regular podcast up on the side behind the sofa. So I'm just through there, they're through there. You probably still hear them every now and then, but yeah, I don't want to put them outside. So I'm here in my kitchen and my dining room and my new, if you follow me on Instagram, my newly appropriated dining table as my desk. So yes, I have a bit of a froggy throat today, so hopefully that doesn't sound too bad. So yes, I may as well get on with things. I don't think I've got really anything much to share at this point in the podcast. I guess first things first, we have a year-long knit-along going on over in the Ravelry group, and that is the MyMuddlings Stash Down Along, and that's basically to use up your stash. So anything that was in your stash prior to the 1st of January 2017 is cool to be included. So I'm doing okay, I think. Somebody, who was it? I had a look the other day and they are blitzing it. They have such a high yardage. It's like, how have you got that done in just 2 months? Like, it's just incredible. So yes, that's going on. We have two awesome sponsors. The first one is Caroline of Clothesline Designs, and you can find her designs on Ravelry, and she's put up a couple of patterns as prizes. So thank you very much, Caroline, and do please go check her out because you do get bonus yardage for using sponsor patterns and products. So our second sponsor is Tamara of Tam's Crafty Knits, and she has offered a project bag and a DPN holder of the winner's choice, so that'll be a little bit later in the year. And of course myself, I am also a sponsor and I will be sponsoring prizes. So yes, if you have anything from myself or Caroline or Tamara, you are welcome to use that to get bonus yardage for the knit-along. So all the details for that are on the FO thread on the MyMuddlings podcast Ravelry group. So I best get on with some knitting now, and I have one FO for you this week, and I'm so glad this is off the needles. It isn't entirely finished because it does still need buttons. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. However, the knitting is complete. So I will show that to you now. And this is a snowflake pullover. It's a little bit dark. Hopefully that'll brighten up. A snowflake pullover by Tin Can Knits, and this is knit for one of my good friend's daughters, and she requested this a year ago, and I finally got it finished. I was literally stuck on one sleeve. I had one sleeve left, so that is now done. I think I popped some conditioner or fabric softener in it because it's the wool is a little bit scratchy, so I was trying to get it a little bit softer for little baby skin. So hopefully you can see that there. It's got a snowflake pattern on the yoke, and then it just has like a buttoned sort of section over the shoulder. So I do have the buttons, they are just a matching blue, so I need to sew those on. And I'll get the yarn details for you. I've got the trusty iPhone here because I haven't done my show notes yet because I've been very busy this morning. I used 431 yards of 4 Seasons Pure Wool 8 ply, which is just Spotlight's generic brand that they have there. So that's just 100% pure wool. There's no superwash in that. So yes, that's the little sweater. I've knit this twice. I did actually knit one of these for my niece in an amazing Madeline Tosh DK. It's one of my favourite bases of Madeline Tosh. yeah, so I knit her one in the colourway Butter. I'll pop a picture in so that you can see. So I was quite familiar with the pattern. As usual, it's a Tin Can Knits pattern, so it's pretty straightforward, very well explained. So yeah, I would recommend the pattern. I really want to knit one for myself. There is one that was one of the samples of the sweater that Tin Can Knits actually, used for their promotional photos, and it's in like 2 different tones of grey, or I think one of them may be a slight dark blue, and I really like the look of that because there are versions of the pattern that have a contrast yoke, so the lace is done in one colour and then the body is done in a different colour. So yeah, Snowflake by Tin Can Knits. So I just need to get some buttons on. I'm not sure when I'm going to see my friend. So, oh, and funnily enough, I showed Simon the other night because I was just like, wow. I cast this on the 23rd of February last year, so 2016. I bound it off on the 24th of February 2017. So it literally took me one day over a year to get this finished, which it really shouldn't have, but it did. So I'm really glad to have this done, because when I'm knitting something for a friend, I feel a certain pressure hanging over my head when it's not like just one of my normal whips, because my whips I can put them aside and it doesn't matter when I get them done because they're only for me, but when it's for someone else, like, it really hangs over my head. So I'm really glad to have this one done. My work in progress this week is just one thing. I've only been working on the one thing, and this is, you're probably not going to be able to see it because I'm quite close to the camera today. Let me turn it around so we can get rid of the tail. Now this is called the World of Difference shawl, and this is by Jennifer Lassonde, who is Boston Jen, who does the Downseller Studio podcast. And this, I think, is her most recent. She was having a sale on it. So her most recent shawl pattern. So it's sort of a triangular shawl that's knit side to side, as you can see. And then it has this triangle section where it sort of flattens out and just goes in a rectangle with short row triangles in it. So yeah, it's kind of been quite addictive because, I mean, I guess stripes, you want to keep knitting till you get to that next colour. So yeah, it's been quite addictive. It's been the only thing that I've been working on. And the pattern comes with a really cool, a colouring in sheet, so that you can test different colour combinations before you actually cast it on, which was really cool. So I sat the other day and did a little bit of, filling in with different colours. I wasn't sure what yarn to use because it does use 5 colours of yarn, and I don't really have, of the same base. When I'm doing striping and things, I like to try and keep it the same base, so, you don't have one that's slightly more tightly spun than another, or a single with applied. I like to try and keep them fairly consistent. And as for getting 5 colours that I would have enough yardage of to make this shawl, I wasn't really sure what I had, but I do have a ton of Knit Picks palette that I've had in my stash. I did buy it all in order to make a bunch of accessories that were in Spring Accessories book. It's the one with all the geometrics. I'll see if I can find a picture of the cover and I'll pop it in for you so you know which one it is. So yeah, I bought a whole bunch of palette, mostly in single balls, because that's all you really needed, to make a cowl or a pair of mitts or whatever from that book. But although I still love the patterns in it, I'm not sure that I love my colour selections, because I did mostly pick colours that Knit Picks had picked. And since I've been doing a lot of thought about my handmade wardrobe and even my store-bought clothes, what colours I want to have in my palette, I kind of want to keep things fairly basic. So I want to keep things to sort of dark colours, so your blacks, your greys, navy blue, and then sort of add bits of purple and things like that. So they weren't really going to be in my, my new wardrobe colour palette. So I thought, well, I've got to get them used somehow. And looking at Jen's yardages that she has suggested for the shawl 3 main colours, which I think is I think it's the purple, the pink and the grey. So these 3 colours here I think are the ones that get used the most, and they were all around, I think it was 273 and 280 yards. So that's more than what is in these palette balls, but I generally knit a lot tighter than what is recommended in patterns. So I've kind of just gone with usually I go up a needle size for patterns because I always seem to be very tight. So I've stuck with the recommended needle size, which is 4.5 mil, which I think is US 7. So I've stuck with a 4.5 mil, and I weighed 2 of my balls last night, the grey and the purple, and I've used, because palette is 50 gram balls, and I have used exactly 25 grams of the ball. So the rest of the shawl is just a repeat of what the first side is. So you do that, you do your triangles in the middle, and then you go back through your stripe sequence. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that 25 grams will get me to the end of this project. If not, it means I have to order more yarn from Knit Picks, which means a massive delay on getting this finished, which I don't want to do because I'm really into it. And although, like I said, the colours aren't really, you know, what I wanted in my wardrobe, I feel that this, because it's a big long sort of scarf shawl type of item, that it might actually, you know, be the pop of colour that goes with an otherwise dark neutral outfit. So, and I mean, it's got teal, which I love, it's got the purple, which is my favourite colour, and the grey, of course. So it's got the colours that are, you know, in my selected wardrobe palette, but I thought it would be nice as just the pop of colour. So yeah, so I've just hit halfway because I've now just started, this purple triangle is kind of, what do you call it, it's repeated, so you have sort of 2 triangles next to each other for the purple in the middle. So I've just last night finished that first purple triangle and I started the second purple triangle. And this uses, as I said, short rows to create the triangle shapes. And I was initially doing the wrap and turn short rows. I'm not a huge fan of those because you have to pull the knitting really tight to avoid having some sort of, you know, loose stitch or a hole in your knitting, especially in garter stitch, because you don't pick up your wraps in garter stitch because there's not really much point because you don't see them. So I pretty much just went to my favourite short row method, which is German short rows, and so that's what I've been doing pretty much since, I've just noticed that I've only knit one of the plies. Oh no, it's picked up in the other stitch, that's fine. Yeah, German short rows since, I think from this yellow, well, it's lichen actually, it's actually a yellowy green, but it's very hard. I'm very dark in here because the kitchen isn't very light, because I've got a carport. There's a window here, but there's a carport, so anyway, yeah, so I've just moved on to my German short rows, and yeah, I'm a bit happier with it. It does, you can clearly see where they are, but I prefer the slightly bulky stitch that German short rows creates to having a hole in my knitting. So yes, I've gone for the lesser of 2 evils, and I just want to show you, I am using, he's turned around, using my little tea bag stitch marker there. So I sent 2 of those out to Shara today, of what Shara made. Thank you very much, Shara. I hope you enjoy them. They're so sweet. And I'm going to have one of them up in the store shortly. I did actually forget about it when I was doing a bunch of listings earlier. So yes, I will have one of those up in the store shortly, the my cinnamon one. So it'll be the orangey brown. Anyway, that can go in shop update later. So that's all I've been knitting on. I think last night I did about 5 stitches on my Gumi socks. Oh, there goes my phone. Yeah, I did about 5 stitches on my Gumi socks, and I put it down because I had to rip out my first purple triangle because what did I do? I ended up with too many stitches at the end to complete the triangle, so I knew I'd done something wrong, so I ripped the whole thing out. And I wasn't sure I wanted to cast, you know, I wanted to rip it out last night. So I did a few stitches on my sock and then went, no, I will. I'll rip it out. So yes, another side note. Other thing really I got is some spinning. And I think I showed you guys, what do you call it, a bobbin of this last week. So hopefully that brightens up a little bit. I'll try and fix the footage in, you know, editing to see if I can brighten it up a little bit. But yes, this one is my Gem Tree 3-ply that I made from Kathy's Fibres Gem Tree merino fibre. And I did this as a, what's the word, a fractal 3-ply. So I'll just pull it out there and you can see. So yeah, you can see how it has this lovely, it's not really a barber poling because when you knit it, it kind of subtly stripes, but it just gives a heathered look when you knit it. And as I've said, this is one of my favourite ways to spin a 3-ply yarn. I didn't get a whole heap of yardage out of this one. Unfortunately, I think it was only about 180 yards that I got in the 3-ply because I seem to have had, what's the word? One of my bobbins seemed to have a lot less than the others, so I ended up with quite a bit of 2-ply. So this is what was left at the end. And I haven't actually checked the wraps per inch on it yet, but it does look like it's approximately a DK, I would say, in both of them, because the 2-ply has puffed up a lot. So you can, hopefully you can see, you can, you know, compare how fluffy the fibre looks in that to that, and how different the, you know, just the effect of the 2-ply versus the 3-ply. So yeah, I think I got 55 yards of the 2-ply and 180 yards of, or 180-ish yards of the 3-ply. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. It's not a ton of yardage. Perhaps I can design another hat, or I can find a cowl pattern or something to knit out of that. So I love it. The colours are amazing. I reckon it's going to look so pretty when it's knit up. So yeah, I was pretty pleased with that. It's fairly consistent. There's a few spots where it's a little less than consistent. And I kind of really love this, you know, this turquoise bit where the colours have all lined up that goes through it. So that's going to be cool to, you know, to get to that point in my knitting. So yes, that's my spinning. I'm pretty happy with that. And now pretty much, what have I got to talk about? Shop stuff, really. I don't know if you have noticed, but I am wearing some of my lentil beads that I have made into earrings. So I'll take one out. I think I showed last week the lentil beads that I have as stitch markers, and I've had multiple people say to me, you know, you should do earrings, or can you do earrings? So I thought, well, why not? It's only another extra little step to make them into earrings instead of progress keepers. So that's what I've done. I've made myself a pair of lentil bead earrings. So what I was thinking I would do is all of the listings of my polymer clay lentil beads and things, I might put a variation on there that you can choose to have them as earrings instead of a progress keeper. So it would just be an extra little drop down variation to choose in a different price point there. So yeah, I was thinking of doing that. So if you are interested in buying any of these as earrings, then I will definitely go check it out, because hopefully by the time this comes out and you see it, I should have done all the updates on the listings. So yes, if you have liked, you know, just make sure that there's 2 in stock of each of the particular bead that you want. As long as there's 2 in stock, I can make earrings out of it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy wearing these. And the only other things, I bought a bunch of more Sculpey today because if you like polymer clay, Spotlight are having a sale at the moment where they're 3 for $10. So they're normally $4.99 each, and then it's made them 3 for $10. So I bought some other, I have quite a bit of, because I bought a sampler kit. That's how I got most of my colours in the beginning. And that's mostly what I've been using in my beads, is the sampler kit. So I've gone and got some more like plain colours. None of these are, I've got 9 of them. None of them are sort of the pearl type. They're all flat colours. I've got a couple of browns, a couple of blues. I've got a beige. I got more transparent so that I can make more of those little tea bag stitch markers, and a couple of reds and a flat purple, because all the purples that I've got have got pearl in them. So yeah, I just went and stocked up on some basic colours. So keep your eyes peeled for some more polymer clay stuff. I'm going to try and do some more because my tea bags were very popular. So I thought I would make some more tea bags, and I also have some ideas for doing little things like little bees. What was the other thing? Like little cameras and stereos and things like that, to just make them really miniature, because I have seen tutorials that make them sort of an inchish big, but I'm going to try and miniaturize them. So yeah, keep an eye on the shop, because I'm really loving the polymer clay stuff at the moment. It's not really something I can do on a hot day like this, because then I'd have to have the oven on, which is just going to heat the house up, which is no good. But it's going to be a bit cooler on the weekend, so I'm hoping to get the polymer clays out again and make up some cool little other things other than lentil beads and stuff like that. So that'll be good to keep an eye out. The only other thing is I have dyed up some more 3PM, because that was really popular from last week. This one turned out slightly more speckly than the first one did, but it's, you know, all the same colours, and it was the same method, it just turned out a touch more speckly. So I have 2 skeins of 3PM. I'm calling it 3PM now. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but just for ease of saying, I've just turned it into 3PM. So yes, I've got 2 of those on fingering. They are now currently in the shop, so if you like them, go and grab them and hope that they're still there. And then I have 2 of the companion colour that I created to 3PM, and that is 3AM. So it's all the same colours, just different sort of ratios, and I was hoping that they would come out a little bit darker than this and be a little less orange, but you get what you get. And these are on my bamboo sock base, so they are, yeah, a companion colour to 3PM. So you can see they're much the same colours in there. So the dark bases in these you probably won't be able to see, but you can kind of, on the end there is black and navy, so there's 2 different dark colours in there. So yes, those are in the shop, and that's all I have to talk to you about today. Although no, I do have some stitch markers. I've made some more jump ring beaded stitch markers, and I've popped those up in the store. So I'll put a little collage in just so you can see them. They're all gold and antique gold, or no, bronze. All the rings have got shiny gold or antique bronze, or just bronze, and the beads range from clear with a purple core through to, what did I have? The red ones with like the oil wash kind of look to them, and then also some copper metallic beads. So yes, those are all up in the store, and yeah, if you like them, grab them. And of course I am open to making more of any of those if you like them. The lentil beads and things like the polymer clay stuff is a little bit harder to replicate, so I probably can't do customs of those, but if you do like any of the jump ring stitch markers that have sold out, then definitely contact me, because I do have I can get more of all of the supplies to make those. So I feel like that has been a very jumbled podcast. Again, I don't like the heat. It is very hot. I'm feeling very frazzled. So anyway, I will let you guys all go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little while, and I hope you all have a fabulous week, and I can't wait to talk to you again next week. So Bye!